Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of this series from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford. The sun is so bright, the page looks really white, but when I come in my camera will adjust and it will be much easier to see what I'm doing. We have a little goblet, I suspect it is today, to colour. Polychromos pencils. Now I'm thinking maybe I will show you a bit of a coppery colour. You know, we did our key and gold and a bit of silver here. It doesn't look that silvery, but it's quite hard to colour that. So we're going to do a bit of copper here. It's a bit of a challenge for me, but I have an idea. Just sharpening up to get going. So a dark sepia to start with, quite a dark colour, and I'm just going to use it on the bits that I think should be quite dark. So the edge, like this, down here, maybe the bottom of the handle there. Now I'm going to use this again at the end for, actually in here, I think these bits are dipped in. I'm going to use it again at the end, but that's all I'm going to do right now. Now we're already going to start going slightly orangey by using a burnt sienna for our next layer. This time we're going to go over that dark sepia and scumble out a little bit, like we did for our first layer of our key, if you followed along with that video. If you didn't, it doesn't matter, I'm showing you right now anyway. There we go. So sort of just slightly fading it in. Those bits need to be quite dark. Now I am going to go for a terracotta. Okay. So over what we've done and start to extend the colour out. It's a little bit light. It might need a bit of help. We'll see. So just scumble it outwards a bit. Okay, now we're going to go to an actual orange. I'm thinking the orange glaze might be a good choice. I'm going over everything with this, just expanding our area of colour out. Yes, it looks orange, it's okay. We'll change it up in a minute. We're going to switch to a yellowy colour now. So we're going to use this dark cadmium yellow. It's still a slightly orangier yellow. I'm going to go over everything. It's got quite a long white gap in the middle at the moment, which we will fill in with our very last colour, which is going to be, oops, a light cadmium yellow. Okay, I'm going to sharpen it. I'm going to go over everything with this again. And bring that white line right in, so there's only a little bit there. And handle. I want a bit of white on the handle so it looks shiny. Now back to our dark sepia for a bit of shadow. Okay, so these items here, I want to make them look like they're standing up. So if I put some shadow by just going around them a little bit, hopefully we get the impression that they're a little bit raised up on our goblet. It's quite tricky work. Hopefully worthwhile. And I want to put a bit more shadow in the bits that are nearer the bottom. I think there'll be a bit of shadow under here as well, where it's standing on this sort of plinth bit, and in here, and then a bit above here. And a handle where it's near the cup, and just at the bottom to really emphasise that shadow under there. There we go. Now you could do a few bits on this. I think we'll do it here too. So under this bit here and above it, and it will look like it's sort of standing out a bit from our cup. There we go. It does look quite orange, doesn't it, still? That's okay. I'm going to actually take my burnt sienna, just tone down that orange a little bit by just taking it in, oops, a tad. Like that. I'm happy with that. I mean, you might not have felt that made a big difference. Now the background, I think I'm going to do a blue. Now what should we do? Well, we could do a, we could go, yeah, let's do that. Let's start with the indanthrene blue. Okay. I'm going to make the whole of this edge quite dark and fade it off a bit. Maybe I should have started with the indigo. Never mind. It's quite fiddly with these leaves. Maybe if I sharpened it, it might be easier. There we go. I'm just going to go back around them. That's better. So this one we're going to do a sort of come from here to the middle, and we'll do the same from the other side. So rather like we did diagonally last time, and do it across this time. So just sort of fade out your blue. Now I don't know if that loop there needs to be coloured in. I think it might be like a bit of a leaf, whereas this loop isn't, so I'm going to colour over that. Because I've chosen such a dark colour, it's going to sort of disappear, but that's just the way it is. Sometimes that happens with Johanna when she does thin lines, that they disappear a bit. It's okay, it's just the way it is. It's when it happens to a butterfly and then it hasn't got any antenna that I find a little bit disconcerting, but you can always draw them in after with a pen of some sort. Right, I don't know what colour to do next. What's this colour? I think this might work, the Helio Blue reddish. Going right over the top of what we've done already. Yeah, just bringing our colour out. You can see that this is a different colour, which is good. And just going over it really. So nothing too different to what we were doing before. Now backgrounds are an interesting thing. Some people are just petrified of them and don't want to do them at all. And don't then, is what I say. Some pictures don't really need them. This would work without. I just thought I would have a go. But yeah, some pictures don't need backgrounds. Some feel like they do need them more. I mean, the one up here of the house, which if you're colouring along you'll be able to have a look at, looks like it needs a ground and some sky, like it's a proper sort of landscapey type picture. But some pictures just don't really. So, and if you just feel that you're uncomfortable with it, then really it's worth remembering that the whole idea of colouring is to bring you relaxation. And if you're doing something you feel uncomfortable with and it's making it not enjoyable, then don't do it, you know. I mean, it's like people who colour with pens, for example. I feel that a background could be quite tricky because it's such a big area. Trying to keep that neat is hard with a pencil, but with a pen I think it would be harder. Also, it can be that pens are quite intense in their colour, and therefore if you do a background in pen as well as the main picture, you can lose the picture, which is actually what I think happened with this key really. It didn't look that good, I didn't think. I think I'm going to use, this is the cobalt, yeah, the cobalt blue for the last layer. Just sharpen it, it's a brand new pencil. Ooh, nice. So here I'm just going to try to get around the edges of all those leaves, like I have done on the others. I'm going to go all the way to the middle. I find this last layer is actually easier because you're doing all of it really. You don't have to think about when to fade and stop. But if you're doing this on a much larger page, that's why I use some soft pastels rather than pencils for a lot of backgrounds, because they're so much quicker, and you can erase them like a pencil. And so if you make a mistake you can just, and actually the ones I've got, I can't speak for other brands because I've only got one set, but they don't stain the paper very much. The reds do a little bit, but most of them don't, so you can erase them back quite well. So that's really good. Some of mine do bleed into white pen, which can be a little bit annoying, but obviously a lot of pencils do that too. But I don't know whether that varies between brands. Like I know there's some that Faber Castell do pastels which are the same colours as the pencils, so I gather, I couldn't say for absolute sure, I'm sure that's what I've heard. And because their pencils don't bleed into white pen, I wonder if that will be the same for their pastels. I've actually got no idea at all. I also don't know whether their pastels have names. You know, whether they have colour names and numbers like they do with their pencils. Mine certainly don't, but they are a cheap brand, so, you know, that is what I would expect really. Let's get a brush. Wow, that bronze certainly stands out against the blue, doesn't it? So there is our next one. It's not right in the middle, is he? There you go. There he is. So that's our next one. Oh, we have a ship in a bottle next, that's good. But I'm going to finish here because I think my family might be back soon from their haircuts. And I think I'm done. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.